This show is sponsored in part by Miss Meow Clothing, offering quality custom clothing for the entire family. Coming soon. Brought to you by Miss Cat.
Lisa Denae Live starts now, only on Stunner Radio, the heart and soul of the culture.
Hey everybody, welcome. Good evening. It's your girl Lisa Denae, and I am super excited about tonight's broadcast. I have a very special guest with me tonight by the name of Tiera Williams. She is a queen and she is a pageant director, you guys. I am so excited to have her with us tonight. So before we go any further, I do have to just give a shout out to the people in Florida and all the other states that have been really going through it with Hurricane Ian, I think it is. Listen, I'm still having flashbacks from Harvey, okay? So every time it started raining for more than one day, I start getting a little concerned. So I'm so happy to say that my people in Florida are good and happy and safe and sound. So that's a wonderful thing. Now, for the people who unfortunately did experience damage and loss, I mean, let's continue, you guys, to really pray for them and, I don't know, send relief. Now, hey, Zozo. Hey, Zoe. Thanks for tuning in. Send relief, you guys, if you can. And listen, there's always cleanup. You know, there's always those jobs for a hurricane cleanup. And they play pretty good. So if you're interested in going on down to Florida in the west central Florida area, from what I understand, listen, get in touch with them so that you can go and spread some love and compassion and empathy. You know, that's always needed. So you guys, when I tell you I'm super excited about this show, I got so much feedback last week from Speak to the King and the King Will Answer. OMG, y'all was feeling that topic. So I was like, okay. I didn't know y'all was going to really feel it like that. I thought y'all was going to be like, speak to the king, whatever, you know, but y'all was feeling it. So thank y'all for all the great feedback. I'm super excited that y'all was feeling it. And I really hope that y'all be feeling this one, Speak to the Queen and the Queen Will Answer. It's very similar. We're talking about the same thing, uplifting and encouraging women. And because I have a queen here as my guest, I felt like it was no better time than to bring this topic. So I know you guys are saying, well, you said speak to the king from a woman's point of view. So now you're going to speak to the queen from a woman's point of view as well. Yes, I am. Because I know that the fellas know how to speak to us, the queen and us. And if you don't, just take notes. But I wanted to talk to a female. I wanted to talk to another queen because unfortunately, we listen to each other more than we listen to y'all. I don't think y'all understand that. We listen to each other way more than we listen to y'all. So it was important to me that we as queens learn how to speak to one another and uplift one another, because it's the key. It's the key for us, okay? Because we really do influence each other. We really do listen to each other. And I know men don't understand this, but we dress for each other. Okay. Y'all really be thinking we dressing for y'all. We be looking good for one, ourselves, and two, each other. Okay. Because if my sister do not look good, if my friend do not look good, I'm gonna be like, girl, what's wrong? What is going on? Her man might not even notice that she looking a little off, but we notice. Okay. So sorry, men, when y'all think, oh, these women spend so much money looking good. We do it for ourselves and each other way more than we do it for y'all. I know that's going to break your hearts, but it's so true. If there was no men on this earth, trust me, we would still be doing the things we do, because it's just who we are. And we love to look good, and we really do like it for each other. So I'm just letting y'all know. Okay, thanks so much, Kwanzaa Davis. Thank you, girl. Thank you, girl. You already know how we do. We like to look good for each other. So it was so important for me to have a beautiful queen on this show with me so we could talk about the things she does for other queens, what she's doing with the pageant that she is a director of. And I really want to get her insights on the fact that we need to speak to the queen in each other so that we can get that queen out of each other. Unfortunately, our society have taught us to compete with each other. So many friendships have not lasted because they're competing with each other. Even little girls in school, that's the first thing they do is begin to compete with each other. And we have to break that. We have to learn how to not do that, even as adult women. You're not my competition. Queens don't compete with each other. We compete with our yesterday's version of ourselves. That's the only competition. Because really in my head, competition. Where? So we don't compete with each other. And I think that is a big problem sometimes for us, because as soon as you see another beautiful woman, you're thinking, how do I measure up to her? So we want to try to stop doing that. We want to have a different mindset. And that is the mindset of royalty. That is the mindset of elevation, where we elevate ourselves and we elevate each other. So we don't want to bring each other down. We want only good vibes, positive energy, queen energy, baby. And we only talk queen talk. Okay. So it is so fitting that I have Tiera Williams on the show with me tonight. So before I go any further, I do want to just encourage your hearts and let y'all know that Stunner Magazine, the October issue, is coming out tomorrow. Okay. Tomorrow, you guys. I am super excited because it's a personal issue for me. Y'all know that October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And I do speak out a lot as a survivor of domestic violence to educate people on the fact that some domestic violence really does affect all of us. It's not just, people think, oh, it's a weak woman or it's a woman that don't fight. Trust and believe. It's confident women, it's strong women, it's anybody, and it's even men. So domestic violence does not discriminate, and we all should be concerned with it. Hey, Tamara, I really hope I'm saying your name right, because I am bad with pronouncing names. She said, I like that queen talk. Hey, queen, I like it too. That's what we got to do for each other, okay? And, I love the queens, you know what I'm saying, the other queens. But I know we're not going to let them out-queen us. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. We're not going to let them out-queen us. I mean, like I said, ain't no competition. But at the same time, that word is just, it has so many other meanings now. And we need to embody the true meaning of what a queen is. Okay, you guys? So without any further talk, I'm going to take a quick break. You guys don't go anywhere. I'm going to be right back with my very, very special guest, Tiera Williams.
I hate you, but I love you at the same damn time.
Hey, it's your girl Lisa Denae, and you're listening to my single Love Hate, available now on all music platforms.
Nights you stray, the words you say, I just can't make up my mind. Sometimes I think I hate you, but I love you at the same damn time.
Tiera Williams is a queen in every sense of the word. As the pageant director for Miss Full-Figured U.S.A. Texas, she knows a thing or two about being a queen and molding and shaping the queens around her. With grace, poise, and beauty from the inside out, Tiera's mission is fulfilled as she encourages women to love themselves and live out the motto that size has no barrier on beauty. It's been said that if you speak to the queen in a woman, the queen will answer. And I'm excited and honored to speak to this queen, and welcome to Lisa Denae Live, Miss Tiera Williams.
All right, guys, we are back, and I'm here with my very special guest, Tiera Williams.
Hello.
Hey, Tiera, how are you? You look so beautiful.
Thank you, Miss Lisa. I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing so good. It is my pleasure to have you on the show. We have been trying to make this happen for a long time.
A long time. But our schedules were so busy, but we made it work.
Yes, we did. And I'm so happy that we did. So tell us a little bit about yourself, your background in pageants, and how you became the queen that you are today.
So, a little bit about myself. I am 29 years old. I currently reside in Gonzales, Louisiana, a little small town in Louisiana. And I began my journey back in 2013 when I competed under the brand Miss Full Figured USA, which is the founder and CEO, which is Miss Teresa Sparkle Randolph. She had a pageant there. I just kind of jumped out and I asked my mom, I said, Mom, I think I'm interested in this and I want to do it. I had no pageantry experience at the time. So I competed. I competed with a lot of beautiful, beautiful women from different areas. It was based in Newark, New Jersey. So now we're having nationals this year in Atlanta. And later on, she appointed me to branch out underneath her brand to Louisiana. And then now I'm on to Texas, which I am super, super, super excited about.
Yes. We like to say everything's bigger in Texas. So
Yes.
I know it's going to be big. So Tiera, what do you think is the biggest thing you learned from being a pageant director?
The biggest thing that I think I've learned with being a pageant director, of course, is always being sure that you are that leader. And sometimes with being a pageant director, it's not always about, the production side. It's also with your delegates, making sure that you are their sister to their delegate if they need you, or they may go through different things and you never know whatever, because everyone has something that they go through when they get home. So I think the biggest thing that I've learned just to always be there for whoever, no matter what it is, and put the title director to the side at times, and just be their friend and just be their sister, for that sister to maybe lean on when you're needed.
Yes, that's what I love. And I know that my intuition never leads me wrong because I had never met you, but I go through people's pictures and I allow my intuition to work. And I'd be like, I need to feel some good energy. And I knew that you had that before you even said that. I knew that you had the good energy and being able to, like you said, set the title to the side. A lot of people are unable to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is amazing and that is great. And that leads me into what I wanted to talk about tonight, encouraging each other and empowering each other. Because when people think of pageants,
Mm-hmm.
people think of fighting, screaming, arguing, choking each
Pettiness.
other as you come out the dressing room, you know what I'm saying? And then putting it all together before you get on stage.
Right. So whenever what we talk about in our workshops with the delegates, regardless, I look at pageants as a gamble. Either we win or we lose, but you have to go into the actual process with an open mind to say, okay, either I'm gonna give it my all, or even if you do give it your all, unfortunately, you may come up short in that, in that process. So I've always spoke about sportsmanship. We're not doing that. We're not being catty. We are not. You congratulate your sister. Unfortunately, everybody did a great job, but it's only one winner. And it's always the best woman that wins.
And I think that is a really good thing that you said, that we don't do that. I love that because in life, you have to understand that. Just
Yes.
because you didn't win doesn't mean you can't win the next time, or doesn't mean that you're any less value. You didn't
Right.
win, but you encourage the people that did win.
Correct. And it's happened where we have had ladies that come through our pageant system and may not have won that first year, or may not have won that second year, but because they love the journey so much, they may try out that third year and they bring it all home.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Wow.
it
Now
has
that is
happened.
amazing.
Yeah, it has happened.
Well, shout out to the queens out there who did it on the third try, girl. That's what's up. I love that because you got to keep trying. You got to keep going for your dream.
Yes.
So, what type of women are you looking for, or what type of women should be interested in being in a pageant like Miss Full Figure USA?
So throughout the process, when I start looking for ladies, I've never looked for the most confident woman, because to me it's more than just being confident. Of course we want our ladies to be confident, but I also want to know the real you, because all of us have flaws. I have flaws, you have flaws, she has flaws. But when I'm looking for delegates, I'm looking to see, how can we nourish into this woman? How can we break you out of this shell? How can we, do things that is going to bring you out and explore more in your life, especially when there's capabilities in your life that you really didn't even know that you had. And so I'm that director that's like, nope, you can't give up. Nope, you're going to work for it. We're going to work for it. And so that is always the lady that I'm looking for when it comes to picking the delegates for the pageant.
Wow, that's really great, because you seem to be really wise beyond your years of 29. So when you're dealing with women that are older than you, how does that feel when you have this wisdom to give and they may be old enough to have birthed you? How does that feel?
In the beginning, it was not easy. It was not easy in the beginning, but I think it goes to, once they get to see, that you're going to carry them in the right direction, that it's okay to, let the lady that is younger than you kind of lead you on the way.
Yes.
So like I said in the beginning, it was kind of hard because they weren't used to it. And at that time I was younger. So throughout the years, the ladies was like, okay, I understand where you're going with this. You're really serious.
Yes.
You take it serious. And so I think that's where it starts with the maturity level.
Yes, and I'm gonna just go on and encourage you, Queen. It gets better, because I was always much wiser when I was young, and now that I'm 50, I feel so happy to just catch up with my number, because
Fabulous. Yes.
I always felt older, and I always seemed older to people as far as my maturity level. But when they found out my age, it was kind of like a letdown to them, and I really didn't like that. It was like, oh. I can't help it that I'm, wise beyond my years. Whoever sent me to this earth, that's on them.
Right.
But I do want to encourage you that it does get better. I mean, as you get older, people just accept that this is how you are. It's not a put on. This is just who you are. You can't help it that you have this mantle on you and you wear it well.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And speaking of, when you said that you were 50 and fabulous, that goes on to explain that we do have a category in our pageant, which is the Miss Exquisite category for ages 40 and over. So,
okay, come on, Miss Exquisites.
Yes.
Because ladies, if you don't know, you will know that it gets greater later, baby. It gets so much better. When I tell you, you have so much to look forward to. So to all my ladies out there, 40 and over, don't stop showing who you are. Don't stop elevating. And if you're interested in this pageant, get a hold of Tiera, because there's a spot for you. And I didn't even know that, but there's a spot for you in this pageant. So, I mean, this is something that you want to get hooked into. So thank you, Facebook. Someone that's using Facebook, it doesn't give their name at this time, but it says Tiera shines as a director because she knows the importance of being a great student and a great teacher. She represents for all of us young pageant leaders. She is the future. Okay, now.
Thank you. I truly appreciate those words.
Now that's a recommendation. Okay. That is a recommendation. Please put in the comments your name, because again, Facebook doesn't show your name. I just do want to know who you are, because what a wonderful, wonderful thing that has been said about you, Tiera. So how does that make you feel?
That makes me feel so amazing. It just makes me feel so great, because again, as a pageant director, I love what I do. But sometimes you get to those points where it's like I get up and down, as far as to, you got to keep pushing, but not even with just that, just with anything, and just to hear those words. Oh, Alex, thank you. That is my good friend, Alex in Houston. I appreciate you. I love you, sis.
Thank you, Alexandria. Thank you. Another Houstonian. Hey, girl. Hey. So yes, I know, like you said, it does get hard, but it's wonderful to see that people see your work and they see, the fact that because I've always told people, without being a great student, you can't be a great leader. So it's like she said, the importance of that. The importance of being able to follow and lead. And a lot of people jump into leadership and don't know that.
Right.
So that's a real feather in your cap. That's really good. So I want to shift gears a little bit and talk about the topic for tonight, which is speaking to the queen and the queen will answer. Congratulations, Tiera. This is from
Tamara. Thank you, Tamara. That's my sister.
Tamara. I'm so glad. I'm so glad you told me how to say it, because I think I said Tamara last time. It's so I probably did mess that up.
No, you actually said it correct. That's one of our current delegates that'll be competing in October. Thank you, Itzo.
Okay, Itzo, and good luck, girl. You're so beautiful. Itzo
Yeah.
says she is amazing. I've learned so much from my amazing director, Tiera. Okay, and Portia says, I love Tiera's spirit and her guidance on her Fab Five. We love you. Oh, so much love.
Yeah,
So
she's awesome.
Tiera, clearly you are a queen. Clearly you are a star. Clearly people love you, because I really believe that it's the love that's coming from you that draws people to you, and they give more love to you. And hopefully if you're listening or if you're watching this and you want to have that type of sisterhood and that type of love, get in touch with Tiera. She is the director for Texas. And do you have another state that you're a director for as well?
Yes, Miss Full Figure U.S.A. Louisiana.
Miss Full Figure U.S.A. Louisiana and Texas. So she's blessing 2 states, y'all. Okay. So if you are in those states, please get in touch with her, because you definitely could be a part of this wonderful sisterhood that we see on display tonight. So we're going to move a little further, because I want to talk about our topic of speak to the queen and the queen will answer. So when I told you that topic, what did you think about that, Tiera?
When you told me that topic, as far as speak to the queen and the queen will answer, basically speak to the queen that's inside of me, and I will answer back to you as the queen that you were looking for.
Oh, now that's a good one too, because that's another meaning. Because people who know me know that I talk to myself on the regular. Okay,
Me too.
I'm literally working on one of my books is called I talk to myself and she listened. And it's telling you how I overcame a lot of obstacles by literally sitting down, having a conversation with myself. So I love that you brought it back to self, because sometimes we can forget who we are.
Yes. And that's the important part, to never ever forget who you are, no matter what you go through. Never ever forget who you are.
And you got to look in that mirror sometimes and say, girl, get it together. Get it together, girl. You may have had a bad day today, but baby, tomorrow gonna be better.
Yes.
Because my good friend, the Hope Coach, says all days are good. Some are just better. So you guys can borrow that and talk to yourself and let yourself know that all days are good. So there's a couple points that I wanted to bring out about speaking to the queen in us. Because like I said at the top of the show, we listen to each other, whether you guys believe it or not, or whether you know it or not. We listen to each other way more than we listen to our men, or the men in our lives. A lot of times when a woman has a man, who do she talk to the most? Even about that man. She talked to her girl. You know what I'm saying? She talked to her sister friend. She talked to her girl, because we listen to each other. So it's so important that we are giving messages to each other that's uplifting and that's encouraging. And so for me, I think the first point I wanted to bring out about speaking to a queen is a queen, first of all, before you even speak to the queen, it's like Tiera said, you got to speak to the queen in yourself first.
Yes.
Because if you don't know that you're a queen and you don't know your value, you won't properly value your sister. Correct. You won't properly value the queen next to you.
Correct.
So a queen knows her value.
A queen knows her value, and also a queen, like you said, is always the person that may be on the side of you, that if you can feel or see that she has lost her value. The queen inside of you, regardless if you have a crown or not, your invisible crown should always be on, because you always want to encourage your sister to know, listen, you cannot lose your value within yourself. And that goes back to the point to where you and I said, never lose yourself.
Yes. Yes. Because what we're speaking to is the value that she doesn't see or that she has forgotten.
Yes.
And that's in ourselves or in each other, because unfortunately the world we live in, especially in American society, is constantly telling us what we don't have and where we don't measure up and where we're not good enough. So
right.
Those messages can make you sometimes forget who you are. It'll make you feel like maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe I'm not, where I should be.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
And then that kind of brings me back to the point when you asked, as far as, when we're looking for delegates, what do we look for in these ladies? And those are the women that we look for to let her know, like, hey, you are valuable. You have this. You got this. Keep pushing, and just never forget, who you are. Just never forget.
Yes. And so when you're thinking of pageants, I always wonder, and you can give your opinion on this, do you think the mainstream pageant system will ever recognize plus size women?
As far as the stereotype, in the beginning, no, they didn't. But now I think because there's so many organizations and they see that plus size pageants are the new thing and it's in now, I do feel like even if they don't get the recognition that they should now, later in the future, I feel like they will. It's kind of like they're getting there, but later on they will.
I really hope so, because I think people need to understand everybody's not meant to be the same size. And
Correct.
Unfortunately, some people harm themselves and hurt themselves trying to get to a certain size or a certain body shape or a certain body type that they were never meant to be originally.
Right. And it all goes back to, body positivity, to just, we have to understand that we all have different body types, and, we're not always going to be the same, but you have to know how to embrace that. And so that's why our motto is size has no barrier on beauty. Whatever size you are, whatever race you are, always love that about yourself, because we're not all the same, and that's what makes us very unique. Ladies, on anyone within themselves.
Yes, and I do feel like we should be happy with ourselves, and what we're not happy with we can work on, but I don't feel like you should let anybody else make you unhappy with yourself.
Correct.
Sometimes you were happy with yourself and then somebody told you you should be smaller, or you should be, your shape should be different. And then we get lost, like you said, when you lose yourself. But I think it is so important that we know who we are and our true value, because if you look at what most people consider plus size, it's
Right.
laughable.
Right. And a lot of people didn't realize that when you are in a size 12, you're considered plus size. So just from when people hear the word plus size, and they may see one of our queens that is smaller and she doesn't give you the actual plus size or voluptuous figure, she's a size 12. She's still considered plus size. So it's a lot of things that I think people outside of the community don't understand, as far as to the difference with everything.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note that beauty comes in all sizes. Even people who are thin and don't feel like they're good enough because thick is in now. You
Right.
got people, and that I never, to be honest with you, thought that would be a thing. Okay, when I was young, I never ever thought thick would be in.
Right.
So it just goes to show you, like, all the thin girls that are now trying to get thick, it is amazing to me. It blows my mind. So it just goes to show you, you got to go with your own, how you feel about yourself, because society is always changing.
Yes. That's correct. And I do see that a lot, as far as to ladies that were on the thinner side, they want to get thick. And so before you didn't want to be thick. You wanted to be on this skinnier side. So like you say, society changes every day.
Yes, I hear so many men say, "Oh, she got to be two something to do something." And I'm like, "Wait, what? Two something? Okay, that's my category. Never thought that would be a thing."
They love it. They love it. Like I say, plus size and voluptuous women are in.
And it's crazy because you're younger, so you may not even remember this. But back in the day, a woman would never say she weighed 200 pounds. Ever. Okay. We will be lying forever on that 199. I weigh 199.5 pounds.
They was trying to keep that one on the hush hush, but now it's all out there now.
I mean, it's not even nothing to be ashamed of anymore. So this person says, I think the community, we have to stop body shaming as well. Size 24s have to stop disowning the size 14s. Different body types have to stop shaming the size 20 hourglass shape. Come on, size 20 hourglass shape. That's my category. Yes. I totally agree.
I totally agree with what they're saying about that, because again, we're all, if we're all a part of this community, plus size community, what's the difference? We're all different. Don't body shame the next person because you feel this way in whatever the situation is. Like
Yes.
It's the confidence that exudes you, and that's correct.
Yes, thanks, Portia. And I do want to recognize this comment from Robert Williams. It says, congrats from mom and dad. So I take it that that's dad.
That is bad.
And you know what? Congrats to you, dad and mom. You can always tell a daddy's girl. I'm just giving a shout out to my dad on the low. You can always tell a daddy's girl, we got a certain glow about us. That's all. And I'm going to let that go. So yes, it's the confidence that you exude. And I think it's wonderful what you do with the pageant, because so many people do feel like they won't be beautiful unless they get a surgery or unless they get a BBL or all these things that not only cost a lot of money, but can be risky. It could be dangerous.
Right. And then, throughout the process, we do have workshops to where we have an undergarment lady that comes. Now, Miss Lisa, when she put these undergarments on us, baby.
All right now.
You are snatched. And like one of my other pageant sisters would say, we're not busting out like a can of biscuits. So with that being said, we do have our undergarments, and we do make sure, underneath our clothes, that the foundation that you have on, that's what makes you confident as well. When you look good, you feel good.
And let me just say, that is important for any size, ladies, okay?
Yes.
Because I've seen some size 6s with a whole lot of wiggle and jiggle and things not going in the right direction, going in different directions, and it's not attractive. So it doesn't matter what size you are, you do need the right foundation. Of course, I'm from the old school where we used to wear them grandma girdles and them long line bras. Y'all know about that? But honey, we was always snatched and wasn't nothing shaking, honey. Nothing. We was together and always snatched. And that's how we have those hourglass figures, because it was tied up. Okay. So I'm glad to see that you all are continuing that, because again, it does, first of all, it gives you great posture, because everything is aligned and you're standing and you're sitting the way you should. And secondly, when you have good posture, you feel good. It helps you be more confident when everything is like in alignment. So I'm glad that you have that. Shout out to y'all for doing the garments, and please connect me with your garment lady. We're gonna definitely support her. Okay.
Yes,
She said, I used to stuff my mama in her long line bras every Sunday. Okay, Facebook user. So you already know about them long line bras, baby. Them things is the truth. They are very hard to find nowadays, but they were amazing back in the day. Okay. I love those. So I wanted to talk about this, a couple tips that I wanted to give people who may be watching or listening about being a queen, and it's not about having necessarily a crown. Right now, we are talking to a literal queen, okay? A queen with a crown. Literally, she is a queen. But I want to also talk figuratively about walking in your queendom and in your queenship, just having a consciousness of a queen and knowing that you're elevated and that you don't stoop down to foolishness and you don't stoop down to negativity because you are above it. So I wanted to give 2 points that I feel are very important to queens. And that is one, queens, and this is for the single queens, don't get in the driver's seat in a relationship, queens. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Do not drive the relationship, because if you start out driving, you're going to always have to drive. When the relationship is at a standstill, who's going to have to pick it up and get it going again? You.
Yep.
No matter where you want the relationship to go, you're going to have to drive it. So don't get in the driver's seats. Queens don't need to do that, because a queen does not connect herself with anybody but a queen, a king, a man that has that consciousness of a king. So he's going to drive. If the man is not in the driver's seat, he don't have the consciousness that you're looking for. He does not have the king consciousness. Portia said, king has to be king. Exactly. And the king knows how to drive the relationship. So ladies, if you are a queen and you're single, do not get in the driver's seat. Don't drive the relationship. First of all, it's exhausting.
Yes.
Okay? It's exhausting. Secondly, a man has certain traits that we need as women. We need the traits that they bring to the table, regardless of what society have told you that we can do it all ourselves. We cannot. We need the traits that a man brings to the table. So queens, please don't get in the driver's seat in relationships. Now, this is another one that I feel like is very important, queens. Mm-hmm. Don't give up the driver's seat in your life. Okay, so when you're talking about your life, your dreams, your goals, your purpose, do not give up and get out of the driver's seat. A lot of women get married and they put their life on hold. You become a mother, you put your life on hold, and you get out of the driver's seat. So immediately someone else is in charge of where your life is going. And we have to stop that, because that's not the road, that's not the path of a queen.
Correct.
A queen knows her mission. A queen knows her purpose. And if you don't know your purpose, get around other queens. Get around women like myself and like Tiera, who's going to help you find your purpose. Because without your purpose, you will always be getting out that driver's seat. The next person you meet, you're going to let them drive. And they're going to tell you, oh, you should be doing this, or you should do this job, or you should go to this school. And you're going to let them point you in all these directions. And then when that doesn't work out, you'll give up the driver's seat to someone else, and then you'll be going in another direction.
And then at that point is where you have lost yourself, because it's too late.
Yes.
Too late.
And how many of us have lost ourselves?
Right.
I know it happened to me. And I talk very openly about my past marriages, yes, with an S. And my first one, I really did get out the driver's seat. And that's why I can tell you, for 11 years, I had no real direction for my life outside of what my husband told me. Mm-hmm. And so when the marriage was over, I literally didn't know what to do with my life. I was just like, oh my God, but be a mother. So I'm going to throw my whole life into my child, which is really not fair to the child, because you become a smotherer. You're smothering them. You try to live your life vicariously through them, and your life is really on hold. So I want to encourage you out there, any woman that wants to be a queen and have this queen consciousness, stay in the driver's seat when it comes to your life. You know where you want to go, and you know how you can get there. And if you don't, like I said, get around other queens that can help you with those directions, and be about doing it.
Yep. That is Miss Lisa, when I started this journey, guys used to get nervous about even talking to me. I guess because I was always so straightforward, and I've always been goal driven, and I've always been, if you can't do it, I'll do it. That type of person. So they didn't know how to even come at me at times. And so I thought it was something dealing with me. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to change as far as to things that are expected because, again, I'm a queen. So
Absolutely.
if you're trying to be my king, then I need you to do king things. And so I
Yes.
can't put myself down because maybe it's something that you can't do. It won't work.
Absolutely. You know, you cannot imagine getting off your throne for a peasant. We can't do
Right.
that because at the end of the day, the whole kingdom is based on what you do. So we
Yes.
can't get off our throne. And I really like what you said. And I think a lot of women struggle with this. When you're goal driven, when you're goal oriented, when you're a go getter, and when you're successful in the things that you do become intimidating to some men.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, I faced that in my own life. They was like, I don't know how to approach you because you're always busy. You're always
Yes.
working. And when you're not working, you're working. And my answer to that is work with me.
Work with me
Work
because I'm
with me.
always
Yes, work with me or get out the way because I have a mission. And so that's why it's so important not to give up that driver's seat because, like you said, for a minute you thought it was you. And it was like, am I doing something wrong? Or maybe it's something about me, but it's not you. It's that a lot of men are not used to and haven't come in contact with a woman that is actually driving her own life.
right, right.
And
That's
so they
correct.
don't really even know how they fit. And you know, you fit. If you got that king consciousness, you fit. But you cannot drive the car for the whole life. Now, for the relationship, yes, you're the
Mhm.
driver if you're the king. But you know, the queen got to drive her own life.
Correct. And you can't get mad when I'm ready to drive, or when I want to drive, I want to drive. And when I'm ready for you to sit on that other side, then you can do that.
Absolutely. And a true king will understand that and will actually appreciate that. Because a
Mhm.
lot of men, I've heard a lot of single men who find it difficult to find a woman who has a purpose, who knows where she's going, know what she's going to do. And they always say women don't know what they want. Well, you haven't been around the right women.
Haven't been around because guess what? If when you meet a man and a man can probably pick up things in the beginning, it can be your first date, and then when it's time for the second date, he's already knowing exactly what you're looking for. And if he's not comfortable and knows that he can't give that to you, he's going to start moving different, and it'll be easier to say, okay, well, it didn't work out, on to the next.
Absolutely. And then don't take it personally, queens, because everybody ain't worthy. And that's what you have to understand. It's very few that's worthy of you.
Yep.
So you should be getting a lot of no's. You should be getting a lot of no's. You should not be working out with a lot of people because very few are worthy of you. So if you get a lot of people that's drawn to you and a lot of people that it's working out for a minute with, that's actually not a good sign. A
Correct.
good sign is when it's very few, okay? Because you know, even being a pageant director, when the requirements are high and when the standards are high, if 50 people come, 5 might make it.
And you're correct. You're correct, Miss Lisa. You are correct. I mean, and it has happened before. And like I say, I didn't understand why they were so intimidated by me. And I'm like, I'm just a regular girl, but I just have different expectations as far as to what I'll accept and what I won't accept. You know.
Well, let me just give you a just real quick news flashes. There's nothing regular about you. Okay. So you have the queen consciousness. You are a queen. And sometimes people know their place. And that's okay for them to know their place. They know they're not ready or worthy.
Correct.
And
Yes.
go on and be with the ones that you are worthy of. And don't waste my time. Don't try to be on this level if you're not on this level. So I just want to talk to all the queens out there. If you're feeling like, oh, guys don't approach me, don't take it personally and feel like it's something wrong with you. That's good, honey, because you're not for everybody and you don't want to be for everybody. You're only for a select few who is worthy of you.
Yep.
So the next point that I wanted to make, because I think it's very important for women that are on their path and in their queendom, is sometimes you have to work on the offense. So queens are not easily offended. So let's work on that, ladies, because sometimes a person can come at you differently when they're intimidated by you or when they're jealous of you or envious. And sometimes people don't even know why they don't like you. They just make it up in their mind the minute they see you. I don't like her. And you ain't done nothing to them. You literally never met them. It's just your first time seeing them in life. And they make up their mind that they don't like you. Well, it is our job as queens to not be offended by that. We have to let it go over our head. We have to understand who we are. And in our role and in our identity as queens and in our consciousness, we have to understand that sometimes it draws a lot of envy and it draws a lot of jealousy. And it's a lack of understanding of who they are. So when people are in an identity crisis, it's hard for them to understand a person who's well aware of their identity and knows who they are. So you have to really work on that when you're coming into your queen consciousness to not be easily offended. So when someone does offend you, the first thing you need to do is try to gain an understanding. And that's what I do. When somebody says something crazy to me, I know they're talking crazy to me, but I'll say, let me gain an understanding.
I need a minute.
Because I really want to know, what's happening here. I really want to know what's happening here. Are you attempting to insult me? Because if you're attempting to insult me, I really don't think we want to go to that arena, and I just let them know that's really not where you want to go. Because if anybody saw the woman king, just understand that that's in all of us. Okay. Understand that that's in all of us. That warrior is in all of us. So don't make me come off my throne and go to that arena. So I try to really understand what's happening here before I get into that catty mode. Because when I get in that catty mode, baby, I come to win.
It's over with at that point. It's I mean, I tried to warn you before I got there, but you didn't take the warning. And so right now I just have to go ahead on and move forward with what I just wanted to say.
Right. But I think if we learn to gain an understanding first, we can also help them get an understanding of who they're dealing with. Because, apparently people, when you are about your business and when you're not competitive, you're not catty, sometimes people take that as weakness, and it's not weak. It's just knowing who I am and know that I'm above foolishness. So when people try you, not only are you giving them an understanding by not jumping to the defense immediately, you're getting an understanding from them, but you're also giving them an understanding of who they are actually dealing with. So you're actually dealing with an actual queen. So you're not dealing with somebody who thinks she was or thought or was told she was. You're dealing with an actual queen. And so with that being said, please understand what that consequences of that is. And I think when you do that, you help people to understand not only who you are, but get them closer to knowing who they are. And I hope that makes sense, because I really hope for people who are coming up into their queen consciousness, you got to be prepared for that.
Yeah, you have to be prepared for that. And I will say, when I first started this journey, I was young, but Miss Teresa always said you have to have a tough backbone, because things happen, but you have to know how to control it. You have to know how, you can't control how this person reacted, but you can control how you react to the situation, and so I've been in situations where it's like, well, you can't do that, Tiera, but cool. At the end, cool has always prevailed, and that's how I look at it. You just have to chill sometimes, because it's not worth it, and you just have to remember again who you are and just mean what you say and say what you mean.
Yes, absolutely. And I think the biggest thing, and I'm glad that you have her as a mentor, because first of all, shout out to Miss Teresa Randolph.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? First of all, she is fabulous, okay? With a capital F, okay? Fabulous and beautiful, a true queen as well. And, you have to have those mentors, because sometimes the hate that comes at you, you don't even understand it. You're just like, okay, but I'm not even a mean person. I'm not a fighting person. Why is this hate coming toward me? And I think it's because, unfortunately, when people don't have self-love for themselves and they around it, their first initial reaction is to lash out at you.
Yes.
But when we constantly grow in our own queen conscious, we know how to break that down by letting them know, I'm not your enemy. I'm not your competitor. I'm your sister. I'm your mentor. I'm your leader. And if you follow and if you learn from me, you won't have to feel this need to lash out. You won't have to feel this need to be envious, because we all can go on this path if that's what you choose to do.
That's correct. That's correct.
But you definitely got to be prepared for it. You definitely, ladies, you got to be prepared for it, because sometimes even people who know you, when they see you becoming who you are meant to be, it's shocking to people at first.
Yeah, and it in the beginning, it used to hurt my feelings in the beginning, because as you said, I didn't understand. I was like, why? Like, I didn't do you anything. What is the real reason? What is the issue? But then once you start elevating up, you really get to truly see the true colors of who that person really is. And I used to tell my mom, I was like, Mama, I can't believe that they would really feel like that. And I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything, but that ain't my problem. That's their issue. And they gonna have to figure it out, because I didn't do anything.
Well, you did something that they didn't know how to process. And that was, you shined, you glowed, you sparkled, all those things that we do without even trying. I'm just saying.
Right.
And a lot of people don't know how to process it at first, because they admire it, but also envy it. And in their first instinct, like I said, in their immaturity, is to lash out against you, not knowing that if you're blessed to be in my presence, you can learn from me and you can start to walk on the same path as I'm walking on. But when you don't know how to process that and you lash out at me, then that's bad for both of us.
Correct.
So hopefully there's someone who is watching or listening who knows the other side, who has been that person who didn't like somebody just because and didn't even really know why. Examine yourself and try to figure out what it is in you that you really need to work on, because you could be really going against somebody that's meant to bless you.
Yes. And I think that's why I said it used to hurt my feelings, because I've always been a genuine person, and I'm always that person that's pushing people. But then it's like, okay, well, I'm this person that's pushing who I would look at as my sister, but then you turn around and you stab me in the back, and it's like, okay, why? Like, why?
Yeah, and unfortunately we have those things that happen, and we have those people that can't get past their envy or their jealousy, and we just have to let them stay where they are, and we have to not come down from our throne, but we have to consider, that we have a mission and a purpose that is too great to let anybody get in the way. So hopefully if somebody is watching and you want to be connected to this organization and you want to be connected to this powerful young lady, reach out to her. Don't be afraid. Like she said, it's not about having the most confidence, because she's going to help you get to that level. Reach out to her. And I know that the pageant is coming up, the pageant here in Houston, Texas.
Yes, ma'am. October 22nd at Vox Creative. Starting doors open at 5 and it starts at 6.
And so, ladies, gentlemen, anybody that's watching that wants to go, follow Tiera on Facebook.
Yes,
under
ma'am.
Tiera Williams. You can also follow the Miss Full Figured U.S.A. pageant.
Yes, ma'am.
And guys, get the information, because you want to be in the building. Ladies, if you're interested in being a pageant queen, if you're interested in walking this journey, go and check it out first. Go look, go see, go be a spectator, go encourage the other women that are involved, and go meet Tiera.
Yes, I'm super excited. I'm super excited about the new environment. It just was like a breath of fresh air because, like you said, you always do it bigger in Texas. And so I'm really, really, really excited. So if you ladies are interested, please feel free to reach out to me. You can follow me on Facebook. My name is Tiera Williams. Or you can go to our Facebook page, which is Miss Full Figure USA Texas Pageant. And you can shoot me a message and any other information that you may want to know or interested in knowing, I can give you that information.
Absolutely. Well, Tiera, I just cannot believe that our time is coming to a close. I feel like we just started.
I know. I had a great time.
Yes, I really enjoyed you and I knew that I would. I wish you all the best success in the future. And I just can't wait to see everything that you're going to do because I can just tell, that you got it. You have the it factor. So, shout out to all the, what do they call when they're
Delegates.
contestants? Delegates.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to all the delegates that are going to be in Houston. Oh my goodness. My plan is to be in the building, y'all. I want to see y'all. I am so excited for you guys. Good luck. God bless y'all. Do your thing, honey. Just go shine. And most of all, have fun.
Yes. Have a great time. I promise you're going to have a great time. And I am super, super duper excited.
And shout out to you. I'm sure there is a lot that goes into being a pageant director and putting this pageant together. So I mean, I can't even imagine the amount of work that must go into it. But shout out to you and all your team, everybody that helps you make this happen. A director of 2 states. It's just such a huge accomplishment. Congratulations for that and everything that you do. And I'm so looking forward to this pageant. So have you guys already crowned Miss Louisiana?
Yeah, we actually had our last pageant in 2020. And then COVID happened after that. And then I was like, well, maybe let me just pause on Louisiana. Let's go on to Texas because I had family that lived in Texas, that lives in Texas. And they kept pushing me. And at first I was like, I don't really know if I want to jump in that water yet. So I was like, I'm going to just go ahead and do it. And ever since I've, been there and putting it out, it has been a great experience and a great ride. And I look forward to continuing my journey in Texas.
Wow, I'm glad you jumped in. I mean, and I'm sure that in itself is encouraging to people because sometimes people only see the end result. They don't know that you was hesitant. They don't know that you weren't sure. And so
Right.
if you're listening or you're watching, understand when you have that feeling, you're not alone. Everybody has felt that at some point.
Yes.
Just
And
jump in, get out there and do it. And it's going to all come together and happen for you, just like it is for Tiera. So again, I wish you so much success and the best is yet to come. And congratulations in advance to whoever becomes Miss Full Figure USA Texas.
Yes.
I mean, it's just such an exciting thing to see the women represent. So please give out your social media one more time if somebody wants to contact you or follow you.
If you would like to contact me, you can contact me on my personal page, Tiera Williams. That's Tiera. And my last name is Williams. Or you can contact me on the pageant page on Facebook, Miss Full Figure USA Texas Pageant.
All right. Thank you once again, Tiera, for being on the show. I have enjoyed you so much. And you guys, thank you for tuning in and thank you for interacting with us. And oh, thank you, Itzel, for still being with us. She says, I'm so excited. Okay. And I'm excited for you too, delegates. Go ahead and do your thing, girl. I know you're going to show up and show out. And I really do plan to be in the building. I want to see all of y'all do your thing. So, ladies, remember, reach out to Tiera, reach out to the organization. And even if being a pageant queen is not in your path or it's not something that you want to do, always remember there is a queen inside of you. And we hope that we spoke to her tonight. So, with that being said, you guys, I did not get to my top 5 wins and fails of the week. But don't worry, we'll be back next week with that because I had so much fun with my special guest. But I want to thank you all for tuning in, and be sure to join us tomorrow for Black Coffee with a Side of Tea with my co-host T Baby and Zoe Roz. And that is at 7 o'clock p.m. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel at Stunner Radio. Thank you so much, Tiera. I had a great time.
Thank you, Miss Lisa. I appreciate you for having me on tonight. I
Absolutely.
Really
I'm glad you were able to make it, and we have got to do this again. Okay.
Yes. Well, you have a good night, Miss Lisa. I truly appreciate you.
Thank you. You too. And for everybody that's watching and tuning in, thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. Like I said, I had a great time. I know I didn't get to my normal segments, but don't worry. I'll be back next week with the top 5 wins and fails of the week and a great topic and a special guest. All right, you guys, y'all know what it is. Be good to each other, and most of all, be good to yourself. Until next time. Bye.